Tiene los tres.
Okay. Okay. We're ready for the post-race press conference here for the Octo Grand Prix of San Marino, round 14 of the 2021 Championship. And we have our podium here. Pecco Bagnaia, 2 wins in the space of 7 days. Fantastic victory ahead of Fabio Quartararo, the World Championship leader. And a maiden MotoGP podium for Enea Bastianini. Congratulations. Pecco, we must start with you. What a day. What a 7 days for you. Winning here in Ducati's home, your home. It doesn't get any better than that. A very different race, an amazing start from the lights going out. You had a second lead on the opening lap, but you had to work very hard in the end to hold on. Tell us about your win. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I was knowing that it was very important to start well and to be already pushing from the start, because with the soft, the initial grip was better. And I was already also knowing that Fabio in the last part of the race with the medium was fastest. So I just tried to be fast and constant from the start. I did my best start ever, because I started when the light was off, so it was incredible. I trained a lot for this, so it was, it was great. But when I passed the first lap on the straight, I was looking already to the board, and it was 1 plus 0, plus 1.0, so it was incredible already. I just tried to manage the tires, and the last laps was very difficult, because Fabio was recovering 4-5 tenths per lap, and was not easy. But in the last lap, I just tried to do the best, and Sector 3 was my fastest Sector 3 of the race, so it was great.
Pecco, what were your thoughts when you saw in the closing stages how much Fabio was catching you? Were there any worries at that particular stage?
For sure, I was worried, but I was also sure that to pass a Ducati in Misano was not easy. I was knowing that Fabio in the Sector 1 was fast, and also in the Sector 4, but Sector 2 and Sector 3 was very great for us. So I just tried to don't let him stay too close to me. And in the last lap, I just tried to make all perfect. And to do it was not easy, but we achieved this goal that also winning here is very special for me.
Yeah, Pecco, just on that lastly, after coming so close to winning in the past, and here particularly Misano last year, just sum up your emotions of the last 7 days. You've not just won once, you've won twice in MotoGP. An incredible feeling, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. The win in Aragon gave that to me a lot of motivation to arriving here more prepared also to win a race. In this track, maybe it's more special because it's my own Grand Prix in front of our crowd, so it was incredible. Also, the lap after the checkered flag was, I did the slowest lap here, just trying to say hi to everyone. And I got to the Ducati's grandstand, and it was a big party there. So I enjoyed a lot also, all in this race.
Pecco, congratulations to you. Enjoy your celebrations tonight. We now come over to Fabio Quartararo. Fabio, you tried everything. You were being ganged up on, basically, by Ducatis from the moment the lights went out. But ultimately, a fantastic second place, a result you must be so proud of. You've limited the damage done to you in the World Championship, and this might well be a race you look back on at the end of the year as one of your best.
I think it's my best. To be honest, of course, victory is totally different, but I think it's the first time that I'm that happy for second place. Not because about the championship, but because I give everything. Also in the beginning with Jack, with Martin, I was fighting against them like if it was the last lap. and I overtake Jack in a place that I never expect to overtake someone. And on the last lap, I was a little bit too far from Pecco because turn 4 and 5, Pecco was much stronger than Jack. And I wanted to overtake in turn 6, but I was too far and I had quite a lot of spin. And then sector 3, I told him that he was like a time attack on the last lap of the race. The lean angle he had in turn 12, I said, okay, I think it's the moment to keep calm. And was a really nice race, and is the one that I enjoyed the most.
Jorge Lorenzo said yesterday that it's sometimes very difficult to manage a World Championship when you have a big lead at this stage, to know what to do. Quite clearly, you weren't thinking too much about the World Championship today. In fact, all year long, Fabio, you must be really proud of yourself, because following any race you've not been on the podium, you've come straight back onto it. So that must be very pleasing.
Yes, and today, to be honest, I had 3-4 moments where I was close to be on the ground. One moment with Jack went wide, I go wide too, I lose totally the front. Also, Pecco take a big advantage. But yeah, many times when I was trying to follow Pecco, turn 2, turn 3, turn 13, I was fully on the limit. And honestly, it's like this that I'm enjoying to ride. And when I was catching a little bit Pecco, the team were telling me every time I was catching a little bit 2.7, 2.6, 2.3, and it motivated me. And to catch Pecco was one thing, then to overtake was another story. And he's really precise on his lines, and I couldn't make nothing.
Congratulations today. Great job, Fabio. We now come over to Enea Bastianini. Wow, what a fantastic ride, Enea. A huge congratulations from 12th on the grid through to 3rd. The riders that you passed as well. The world champion Joan Mir, Alex Rins, Jack Miller, Marc Marquez to get your first podium, and your speed was phenomenal. How happy are you with this podium here at home?
Yes, it has been an unexpected podium for me, because during all this weekend, my paces was so nice, but today in the race was something special, and it's incredible for me to overtaking a big rider like Rins, Jack, Marquez, and he stay fantastic all this. And after when I overtake Jack and I will see the table in the pit, I will think, okay, 3rd place is fine, and I have closed a little bit the throttle the last 6 laps, and it's fantastic for me to be here also with a 19 bike. But in some race, we have also a good potential.
Enea, at what point in the race did you think a podium was possible? And once you got into 3rd place, did you think that you would be able to catch these guys? Because there were 3 consecutive laps where you posted a new lap record.
Yes, in the middle of the race I was really fast, but you know, starting from 12th place is not easy, and I think I can be also to the battle for the victory if I start more advantage, but for me it's a good 3rd place today.
Huge congratulations to you. Well deserved, Enea. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's your top 3 then. Pecco Bagnaia, Fabio Quartararo, Enea Bastianini. That's all from me. Time to pass over to members of the media for questions, starting with Paolo.
Yes, Pecco, yesterday you said that should you win again, your history might change somehow. You believe it now even more?
No, it's what I want to say is that for me it's a special moment. After struggling a lot these years to win my first race, I struggled, and every time I was close, but I was missing, and I was doing mistakes, and I had problems. So winning my first one in Aragon, and then already winning my second one here, gave to me a lot of more trust in myself. So and I'm sure that if we work well, and if we work more on some areas, we can stay always in front, and we can battle with the top guys everywhere.
Matteo Aglio from GP1 and La Stampa. I have a question to Pecco, another one to Enea. Pecco, what was the hardest race? This one or the Aragon one? And to Enea, what did you learn fighting against Mark, Miller, Rins, and so on?
For me, this one, because this one is a shorter track with more laps, and is more difficult physically, this track, because it's more, you don't have time to relax. In Aragon, you have more time to stay in the straight and take more breath. Here is very strong. So, and also because I was looking at the gap, and every lap was reducing, so it was very difficult to remain concentrated in that moment. I was knowing that it was like this, because pushing like this in the first part of the race means also that in the last part maybe you have a little less grip. So for me this one was more difficult.
Me, I have learned a lot also today with this guy, with this rider, and it stayed really nice for me to overtake also in the break Marc Marquez and Jack. But I think I have learned more the bike during all the weekend, and also in Aragon when I was without rider on the front, because I'm more concentrated, and it stay a very good choice for me to riding, come si dice da solo? Alone.
Sport. Fabio, it seems that you are alone against Ducati, and for sure what's happened in the first part of the race, it could happen in the next races. It could change the championship for you?
I feel it's true, because, you know, in the beginning, when I saw Pecco leaving, I was fighting with Jack, fighting with Martin. I only see red, you know, and was not easy, because to overtake Yamaha, let's say Yamaha against Yamaha is one thing. We have more or less the same acceleration, but when you have like different bikes, like I was catching Pecco in sector 1 and sector 4, but as soon as I was behind in sector 1, he was pulling away in sector 2 and sector 3. Not only about the engine, because turn 11, 12, 13, Pecco was much better than everyone. And this is not about power. And was a little bit like going away, catching, going away, catching. And yes, it's true that maybe a little bit more support from Yamaha will be not support technically, but by the riders. But let's see, we have some things to try in the test. But yeah, we are struggling so much to overtake, and depends the corner. Like 4, 5, 6 on the change direction is nice, but it's corners where it's normally not usual to overtake.
And Motorrad from Germany. A question to Enea. So Enea, the 2019 Ducati was known that it was still suffering in corners with understeer. So you explained that you start to understand the bike when you ride alone. So how could you overcome this oversteer to go that fast with this motorcycle?
Yes, my bike have a good potential, because it's nice, but it's a lot of aggressive, no? Because pump a lot, and also have some full in the straight. But here in Aragon, I have adapted something my style in this bike, and now I'm more relaxed during my race, and I can be fast in every part of the race.
Hello, gentlemen. This is Frank Willing from Eurosport. I have a question for Enea and also for Fabio and Pecco, if that's okay. Pecco, to start with you first, you said that last week or this week was even more difficult, but you were clearly seen as the favorite for this weekend. Did that give you more pressure? Were you okay with that? And Fabio, you had the different rear tire. Was this sort of the scenario that you expected for the race? And Enea, you said that you learned a lot. Could you say a little bit more about what you learned and how you changed your style? Thanks.
For me, in terms of pace, in Aragon, I was fastest than Enea, because in this weekend, I was very competitive in terms of pace, but Fabio, I think, was a step in front, because also this morning was doing an incredible pace with 16 laps of tires when he started, and for us was more difficult. So I was expecting to fight today for the win, but I was thinking also that he can stay more close. And when you start and open a gap, and then you see during the race that this gap is every lap's 3/4 tenths smaller, you start to have more thinking on your bike. And I start to there was 2-3 laps where I struggled a bit seeing the space, because I was trying to open this gap more, but it was impossible. So I take a breath and I just try to be more constant possible, to have more tire in the last 2 laps.
Let's say for us, the medium was a little bit better. The soft was also an option, but you know, my feeling was a little bit better with the medium. The soft is true that in the beginning you can attack a little bit more, but I was feeling better with the medium this morning. I was hesitating to make more laps on the soft or more laps on the medium, and I decided the medium. And then we make a really great pace, and we decide to go with that one. But I mean, it's not, the soft was also an option for us, but we decided to go with the medium.
Me, I've changed my style during the last 3 races, and also I'm more soft in all the movements and when I'm riding, and I have see the data of the Pecco and also Jack. You know, it's a different bike, but the DNA is similar, and now I'm more relaxed when I'm riding the bike.
Thank you.
Hi guys, Lewis Duncan from Autosport. I have 2 questions. The first one is for Pecco. You talked about this race being harder than Aragon. Was part of that difficulty down to the fact that you maybe had last year's Misano race on your mind? What happened when you were leading for so long?
No, because it was physically more difficult. I was terrorized in the last 6 laps to make the same error of last year, because I was thinking, no, don't crash turn 6. But then when I'm running 7 laps, I was close to crashing turn 1, because there's a bump there, and I lose a bit the front, so I was a bit scared about, but was not more difficult for that reason.
Thank you, Pecco. Well done. And I have a question also for Enea. You adapted very quickly to the big Moto2 bike, and again this year you've adapted very quickly to a big MotoGP bike. Why are you able to do this? Is it, you know, riding style? Do you just feel more comfortable on bigger bikes? Can you explain a little bit?
Yes, the MotoGP is very different respect Moto2, and it's not easy to do very comfort on the bike, but when you understand some movement of the bike, you can be more soft and more relaxed. and after it's all more easy, and now my bike is very nice. I have some hole in some track, but I have to modify again little bit my style, but race by race I know more what I have to do.
Thank you. Well done, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys, Thomas Beaujard from GP Mag in France. 2 questions. The first one is for Pecco. Johan Zarco just told us that looking at your data, you were making the difference in braking, not so much with the power of the brakes, but the way you are able to position the bike. How do you manage that? And to Fabio, you are now the record man in terms of podium in MotoGP for French guys, overtaking Christian Sarron with 19 podiums now. How proud are you of these statistics? Thank you, guys.
It's something that I work a lot, because in the first year in MotoGP I was struggling a lot with the braking, and I started working a lot there about that area in the last part of 2019. In 2020 I was already doing a step, but I also worked a lot with the street bike here to manage I think better the front tire, because one good thing about our Panigale is that in terms of riding style, in terms of tire, because the tire that we are using are the Michelin Endurance tire, the construction is very similar. So what the front is doing is close, I think. So I worked a lot with the tires and that bike, and also with the data of Jorge Lorenzo. I worked a lot. So now the difference that I make is just in the last part of the brake, in the entry. I think I'm braking hard and strong in the last later that I can, but I make the difference more in the entry, I think.
Not bad for a French guy, but I think that is good, but I don't want to stop here, of course. So proud of this first thing, but it's just the beginning. So we hope to make the level much higher.
Hi, David Emmett on Track Off-Road. A question for Fabio and a question for Pecco. First of all, for Fabio, you were looking at Enea's tyre. What did you see? And for Pecco, last week you said you made 4 mistakes. How many mistakes did you make this week?
This week, 1 in turn 7. In turn 1, I tried to brake a bit before. And in that bump, I lose a bit the front, and I was a bit scared. So in the lap after, I just tried to brake later. So it was better for me.
Let's say it's always interesting to look the tire difference. It looked quite destroyed on the left side. But yes, it's interesting, and all I can see it's difficult because I'm not an engineer. I just a rider that try to understand a little bit. But looking at the tire is always interesting to see what is going on. And he was really fast. So that's why I also check.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, Matt Oxley from Motorsport Magazine. Another question for Pecco. I was kind of going to ask a similar question to what Thomas just asked about getting into how are you getting into the corners. But I wanted particularly to ask about the 3 fast rights, especially the first 2. You are sort of sensationally fast through there. So, you know, that must, take just enormous confidence, a lot of bravery, and a lot of feel in the front tire. So could you tell us what makes up your ability to attack those fast corners, which obviously make a lot more difference than slow corners? Thank you.
The good thing about this bike is that it's very stable. So in that fast corners, we can enter with a lot of speed. And our bike is not shaking a lot. So I feel very great in fast corners, in all the circuits that we have. And also, I have a really great feeling with the front. So, but starting from this year, before I was struggling a bit more. This year, the feeling that I have with the front is incredible. We didn't change nothing on the bike. The setting is very similar compared last year, but the feeling is growth a lot, and I improved a lot how to manage the front tire. So the feeling is great and helped me to enter in the fast corners like this.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I have a simple question for Enea. Enea, which has been the key of today's result?
The key, I don't know, because this morning my paces was not so bad, but not competitive to do a podium. But during the race, is changed something, and I was really competitive with the brake to the enter, and I think it stayed this the key. And after whenever taking 2-3 rider, I was really charged, and I have pushed all to do this podium.
Thank you.
Pecco, Fabio, Enea, well done today. Congratulations. We'll see you in Austin.